Known for her forthrightness in speaking out on relevant issues, meet a 4-star general in business and finance strategy, Karen Fitz Ritson. Founder of Fitz Ritson and Associates, the ex-stockbroker and financial researcher has a reputable track record in the finance industry. But this did not seem the likely career path for the financial strategist coming from a family of attorneys. However, she followed her own intuition, studied business and finance, honed her skills while working in the corporate world, and now runs her own business training corporate execs in fund and portfolio management, and is playing her part in upgrading the local financial landscape. Welcome to Wealth Magazine's Business Access. I'm Celene Tyson, and here with us is Karen Fitz Ritson, CEO/Director of Fitz Ritson and Associates. Hi Karen, welcome to Business Access.
Hi Celene, and thanks for having me here.
Now, you go from helping people to get wealthy to showing people to make other people get wealthy. Explain a little about this.
Well, my process started when I was a trained financial analyst. So I worked in financial institutions where I used my training to manage portfolios, manage funds, to enable the process of wealth management. I had done that process for 12 years, and as you know, I went away, came back, and I decided, looking at the industry, let me take my skill sets to a wider level and help train people how to be able to do that process.
Now, is that what your father meant by it's better to be the kingmaker than be the king?
One of the things in our tradition, in our family, is that they consider themselves to be kingmakers. They've been advisors to very powerful people in both private and public sector. So I guess this is now my turn, 4th generation of the family, but doing it my way, not the way they did it.
Right, because everybody expected you to get into law. Right.
And I went into finance, which I just thought was ridiculous, but they didn't understand. It was a new concept, but everybody appreciates the role that I play in the industry. And my family, I would say, they're very proud of what I've done now.
Okay, now your father passed away at 31. You were 8 years old. How has this affected you?
When you're 8, you understand the process that you have lost your father, especially if you have a real father in every sense of the word. So the family unit jumped in. It wasn't a role only for my mother, my grandparents, and I had supportive aunts and uncles and my cousins and everything. You do get the support system, but I think for me, my father's death affected me more in adulthood. The time that we spent together, because he had a very public persona, so the time was very precious. But we had very interesting talks. And it's as if it was stored in my memory. And when I hit 21, it was like, boom, everything just started, like in a movie.
Yes.
Yeah. So, when these things start coming back to you, you say, hey, big guy, you should be here now to guide me more in this process. So the first thing that we need to understand is how to identify and calculate key financial ratios. Why is it important to understand the ROE?
Definition return on equity. It shows precisely how much investors like to get back per dollar invested.
Very good. So you feel the loss, but you had a support group to get you through that. Inclusive of my stepfather, who was wonderful, and I lost him at age 15. He died of a heart attack.
You want to tell us a little about that?
It was the 28th of February, 30 years ago. It was just after Valentine's Day, and you're 15 and you have your little boyfriend and that sort of thing, or guys who think that they're your boyfriend or what have you. And so we're joking about it. Mommy came in the room, they were teasing me, so the 3 of us were in my room on the bed and we were joking about it. And I heard Mommy scream, but they were always joking, because my house, you just clown around all the time. So my cousin Jennifer and I said, oh, they're just joking around. And I heard the urgency in Mommy's voice. He had a massive heart attack and he had died in my bed.
Immediately?
Immediately.
What was the impact on you at that point?
That's when I really felt a loss, because after Paul died, I had my stepfather. So now, with Paul out of the picture and then Neville dying, 7 years after that, that is when I had the real loss. And when my mom had remarried, their union produced a sister, my sister Lisa. She was 3 years old at the time.
So how has this molded you into the woman that you are today? And did you have to be a guide for your sister at that time?
Our mother is a very forthright, powerful, positive person, because she's now a single mother raising 2 children. She bought a factory and she used to run 3 shifts. Now think of a woman running a business, running 3 shifts, raising a 15-year-old, raising a 3-year-old, and my mother was home every morning to make breakfast for Lisa and myself, and every night to tuck us in bed.
The strength of a woman.
Yeah.
Well, you're no walkover.
No, I'm not. I'm not a walkover.
And we're talking about Karen.
Yes.
So tell me about your successes in the financial industry.
First, I had to prepare myself, because if I'm going to manage people's money, I need to know how to do it the best way. And getting a sound education, and not going and doing an exam and passing it, meant getting a sound education. A sound education means understanding, walking out of there, getting the tools that you need to do to hit the ground running. That's what a sound education really means, not just a piece of paper in your hand.
Well said.
Now, remember, I'm coming from a family with all lawyers, so they don't know anything about money or finance or anything. So it forced me now, I had to go out there and find role models. When I was in school, I interned for free. Now, young people today, they're not going to do anything for free. But I knew that when I wanted to go out there, I wanted to be the best at what I was doing. If you're going to consider yourself a success, you need to be a sponge, and you always need to learn, and you always need to reinvent yourself, and you always need to push yourself to the next level. I learned at the feet of Mr. Mas Solomon. I learned at the feet of Douglas O'Rain. And I can vividly remember at age 23, when Douglas used to say to me, find your passion, work at it, and the rewards will come. And I knew when I came home, because I set a goal for myself, that at age 35, I wanted to open the doors of my own business.
Okay, Karen, let's go back a little.
Sure.
Crown Eagle, there was an incident. Tell me a little about it.
Oh, yes. Let me give you a little preamble. Back in 1996, 1997, we were going through our first major financial crash. So investors were very unnerved, very unsettled, basically very scared. So what happened at Crown Eagle was that the government was going to do intervention to try and save the company. So investors were pulling money out. So a client, he walked in my office, he asked for his money now. We're not a commercial bank. You're doing investments, and what that means is that you place your money with another institution. You have to request that money from the institution, get the money back in there, draw the check for the client. Client doesn't want to hear that. He wants his money now. So I explained to him, you will get your money in 48 hours. Client doesn't want to hear that. He had a gun in his boot. He took out the gun. He put it on my desk. Now let me put things into perspective. I was 31 years old. You heard how old my father was when he was murdered. 31. So all I'm thinking in my mind is deja vu. Karen going to be murdered right here at our desk. So I said to him, obviously, you're very upset, Mr. So-and-so. Can I offer you a cup of tea?
Well, when there's an angry man, you know, with his gun on your desk, I'm not sure that tea is the best thing to offer him.
I didn't have gin and I didn't have scotch in there, so tea has to work. So I ushered my secretary inside. She made the tea, she brought it. We watched him drink the tea. He picked up the gun. He put it back in his boot. Okay. And he said to me, Miss Fitz Ritson, I apologize. Why did I do that? He said, 48 hours, I'll be back. He said, I'm sorry that I did that. And he left. This man brought so much stress and trauma that my poor secretary had an asthma attack right afterwards. And we had to rush her to the hospital. I was angry for the simple reason that, am I now going to be put in a position where my life is going to be on the line to do my job. So it makes you a little introspective, and those are a part of the experiences with what my new life has evolved into. Yes. That has helped me to teach people how to handle situations like that, because fast forward 10 years after the fact, you have more angry clients out there now.
Fast forward.
Yes.
Opening your doors, Fitz Ritson and Associates.
I went back to school, did my training, came back home. And I was very introspective. I said, is this what I really, really want to do? Do I want to go back into the corporate world? Do I want to manage more funds? When I left Sigma, there were some more, the average of leaving my desk was 12 o'clock in the night, you know. No, you see, this is something else in the journey. As an entrepreneur, you have to put hours in your business to be a success. Right. Now I work 18 hours a day. Opening the doors of Fitz Ritson and Associates, it was my good friend, our current town clerk, Errol Green. He said, how about Karen Fitz Ritson and Associates? And I thought about it. I called some of my colleagues and I said to them, this is what I'm planning on doing. Will you support me? You know, the most humbling experience in my life. They said, yes, you are successful at what we did and our staff will benefit from your training. And it's important for all entrepreneurs to understand this. Trust, transparency, candor. Before I
consistency.
Consistency in quality. Yeah. You have to build relationships and you have to engage people. And if you're going to create trust, remember, as an entrepreneur, your reputation is all that you have.
Karen is actually, and this is I must declare full transparency, she's my niece, which I am very proud of that, because of course I will have to tell you that where else did she get her brains from? I fully acknowledge the fact that she is extremely bright, and more than bright, because you have a lot of people that are book bright but they're not street bright. And so she has the exact talent of matching her skills with her efforts and her hard work, because she is results and goal oriented. And consequently, she has built with very little assistance, single-handedly, a business that is taking shape, taking form, becoming corporately recognized, and her services are actually in high demand.
So tell me, what does Fitz Ritson and Associates do?
We are a financial training institution. We specialize in finance and strategic management. I've specified and I zoned in on the areas that I'm teaching because that is my strength. And that's another thing that you need to understand, that if you're going to be in business, you can't be all things to all people.
You have to focus on your strength.
Focus on your strength, deliver a good product, keep your client happy.
The problem, the challenge I think young entrepreneurs have in Jamaica today is the lack of executive coaching in specific business areas. Fitz Ritson and Associates
addresses
some of those. Can you talk about some of those areas?
We have a program in strategic financial management, and it bridges two gaps. How to look at the business operations and look at it from the financial side, how to make the business successful, how to look at what makes your business work. A lot of my corporate clients send their GMs to that program because obviously they want their staff to have bang for the buck and hit the bottom line. You look in some of the traditional business persons, the Chinese, the Indians, the Syrians, and in their business operations, like, who do you see on the floor?
CEOs,
them,
the owners themselves. Yes,
they are there. Yes. And their children are in that business.
So that's something we need to catch on to.
Exactly. How are you going to make your business grow if you are not there? Another lesson you need to learn in business. Every business opportunity that comes to you, you don't have to take it. You have the right to refuse business. Some business transactions or some business relationships can cost you more money in the long run than you actually making money, you know.
does Fitz Ritson and Associate give back to civil duties in terms of
Oh,
communities, organizations?
Oh gosh, I do a lot of that with my Rotary Club. Right now, I'm the chair for literacy, which falls, I guess it fell in my lap because of my exposure to literacy. With what I'm seeing now in the education system, I say it's time that we give back. Now, I have some coloring books for you this morning, and we are going to color for a little bit today. You want to Everybody has their crayons?
Yes, please.
Okay.
If you were to be an animal, which animal would you be?
A dog.
Okay. A dog,
Yes.
Karen. Tell me why.
I love dogs. I'd be a dog or a dolphin. You know, a lot of people, you know, especially women, when they categorize when they say you're a dog, sometimes I say, you know, you need to revisit that. Dogs are the most faithful, loyal pets that you can have. If you love them, they will love and cherish you for life. A relationship you can have with a dog, and I'm not talking about a relationship, but the relationship that you can have with your pets in terms of them protecting you.
Now, if you were to be a movie star in any film, what character would you choose and which film would you choose?
Now you're letting me start to think. But if I was to be a film star, I would want, you're going to laugh at me now because my family is laughing at me every time when I mention it. I would want to be John Travolta in Saturday Night Fever because I love to dance.
Karen Fitz Ritson, absolutely enjoyed my time with you here on Business Access.
Thank you for having me again, and I hope that I was able to give a positive message.
Oh yes, you were.